As with many discoveries in science, the physical signs can be used to identify an underlying cause and effect mechanism long before the technology catches up, in a phenotype reveals genotype way, be it Darwin's theory of evolution long before the discovery of DNA, or the use of many drugs whose mechanisms are hitherto unknown. This observed effect, investigate the cause method, is a cornerstone of science. Therefore, the fact that current advances in biotechnologies are revealing physical facts, such as cells tagging memories, to give them a validity rating, and explicit memories showing separate memory engrams for semantic and episodic memory, as predicted, should come as no surprise.
The scientific method is about ordinary people doing ordinary things. That includes you, me, and other scientists in the world. The scientific method is just a process or steps taken to produce reliable results to answer a specific question. Maybe you think you don't use a scientific method in your life, but I can guarantee that you do.
Because of their work with superior memory individuals, researchers postulate that pliable mechanisms are responsible for episodic remembering, thus even accurate memories are reconstructed by a fallible system. As discussed by Segal in 2018, the dynamic nature of memories allows for the human brain to have an interconnected picture of their environment. This requires memories to be linked together and integrated into that larger picture, altering each other over time, leading to our semantic memory and knowledge. In 2013, Sachter traced the use of modifiable memories through the new synthesis of plastic-related proteins in early vertebrates, showing that memories have evolved from modifiable base sensory and implicit memories in the more primitive areas of the brain, the cerebellum, the basal ganglia, to the explicit long-term memories of Homo sapiens in and around the hippocampus, preneural nets, and the medial temporal lobe. With all the known and unknown variables affecting memory, the distinction between truth and fact becomes clearer as the mechanisms reveal themselves, their flexibility and their overlapping nature, with the emotional variables of memory appearing to be more important and more memorable than the facts of the event.
Imagine you wake up on a Saturday and you couldn't find your cell phone. That's an observation. Then you do a little research by thinking about the last time you had it. You suspect that it might be in the pocket of your pants from yesterday. That's a hypothesis. And when you check your pants, you're doing an experiment. But science and life don't always go as planned, and you find no cell phone in your pants pocket. So the second observation leads you to think again and recall what else you did yesterday. You remember that you put your cell phone in your backpack during school. So you decide it must be there, and you go and check. And lo, there it is.
Psychology is showing that memory is a principal factor in major depressive disorder, and involuntary fear memories in particular are a leading part of post-traumatic stress disorder. Combined with the success of cognitive behavioural therapy in treating multiple disorders, demonstrates how much of an individual's memories and their underlying perception affects their mental and physical health.
I was thinking, what if he said, no, I've seen the hurricane situations, I've changed my mind. There really is climate change. And I thought, wow, what an impact. What an impact that would make.
I'm not denying climate change, but it could very well go back. You know, we're talking about over millions of years. They say that we had hurricanes that were far worse than what we just had with Michael.
Who says that? They say. You mean
well,
the people on the phone?
People say that.
I do believe climate change is real and that we can expedite it through our activities. If we keep jacking off to fossil fuels and overconsumption, I really don't want to imagine what the year 2100 is going to be like. And I hate that conversation around climate change is so divisive. It's like, oh, you greenie lefty, first you fucking climate denier, you tree hugger hippie piece of shit, you far right ignoramus motherfucker. It's like, you know, politics has become tribalism. It is a sport, and this issue, unfortunately, is tied up in all of that fanatic behaviour. So,
recognising the difference between truth and fact and the part our memory has on this would appear to be more important than ever. A plethora of papers from all sorts of disciplines, from bioethics and general science to education and crime, are now looking at how the post-truth and fake news era affects their field, as the understanding of how memories work is expanded, there would appear to be a political arms race about how facts can be used to influence personal truths. My findings while doing this documentary would suggest that the emotional variables of an argument are more important than the truths, suggesting that science's reliance on verifiable facts could have a hard time competing with reputation, repetition, and the emotional arguments provided by non-scientific parties.
It's not going to be, it's not clear who's going to get to the buoy first.
Right.
The climate change that undoes so many of our urban populations and causes enormous upheaval, or the scientifically literate populace that is emerging with an enthusiasm for scientific truth and understanding the world by critical thinking.
So it's the rate at which people are learning versus the rate at which people are denying.
Yeah.
Doing these videos and revisiting this subject during the pandemic and the Black Lives Matter protests has exposed me to the fact that opinions are polarising, that it's not just a climate changer versus denier, a leaver versus a remainer, or a left versus right thing anymore. It would seem to have become a scientific fact versus personal truth debate, where fear dominates. This seems counterintuitive as we live in a time of wonder, where science has enabled quick travel, long life, instant communication anywhere in the world, and more knowledge freely at our fingertips than ever paper library could ever hold. Yes, we face problems, but through cooperation and communication, we have already proved anything is possible. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.